Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to Crown Conversations, where we talk about healthy natural hair tips and habits. I've been there. I don't know whether this has ever happened to you. You spent hours moisturizing your hair only to wake up the next morning to dry, crunchy ends that make you question your entire routine. If you can relate to this, then this episode is for you. Today we are breaking down one of the biggest natural hair debates of all times, the LCO versus the LOC, or the lock method. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly which method suits your hair best. Let's talk hair, the real honest sister-to-sister talk. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this episode with your natural hair friend, sister, or mom, because trust me, by the time you're done, she'll thank you for this segment. The moisture struggle is real. I've been here before. I realized the best method that suits my hair needs. Natural hair is beautiful, but keeping it moisturized, that's a full-time job on its own. I remember when I first went natural, I would apply oil right after washing my hair, thinking that would seal in the moisture. But by the next day, my hair was like, girl, what's moisture? When you do this, your hair will only be shiny with a lot of dryness. I realized that it is not just what you use, it's how you use it. That's where these two famous methods come in, the LCO and the LOC. They sound almost the same, right? But one small change in order completely changes how your hair feels and how your hair behaves. Alright, let's start with the OG, that is the LOC method. L stands for liquid or leave-in, O stands for oil, and C stands for cream. This method was created to help seal moisture into curly, coily hair textures by layering product in a specific order. So here is how it goes. You start with your liquid or leave-in conditioner. This is your moisture base. Then you need to apply your oil. It acts as a barrier to trap in that water. Finally, finish off with your cream or butter to give your hair that soft, sealed, and juicy look. Now, if your hair feels dry just hours after moisturizing, or if you notice your ends freezing up too fast, this might be the reason. Maybe the order is not right for your hair type. By the way, as you're listening, grab a notepad and open your notes app and write down the order that you usually apply your products in. Because before this episode ends, I'm going to help you figure out which method will make your hair thrive. Don't skip ahead, stay with me as I take you step by step. Then we have the LCO method. This is the new favorite. Now let's talk about the LCO, the remix version of the LOC method. Here you switch the last two steps. L stands for liquid or leave-in, C stands for cream, and O stands for oil. So instead of sealing with cream, you seal with oil. The difference might sound small, but the result, I can attest, they are totally different. The LCO method tends to work best for low porosity hair. That means hair that doesn't easily absorb moisture. By applying your cream before the oil, you give your hair a chance to soak in that hydration before the oil comes in to seal that all moisture in there. If you've ever felt like oils just sit on top of your hair, or your hair feels greasy instead of moisturized, says that's your hair telling you try LCO the next time you're moisturizing your hair. If you would like to know more about hair porosity, I have a detailed video on my description box down below. Kindly go and watch so that you can understand your hair in depth. And if you're nodding right now because that sounds like your hair, comment in the description box down below with an LCO girl, so I know you are part of the moisture gang. If you have low porosity hair, try the LCO method. Your hair cuticles are tighter, and so it takes longer for water to get in. The cream helps to keep the moisture in long enough before sealing it with an oil. Again, if you have high porosity hair, try LOC method. your hair absorbs moisture fast but loses it just as quickly. So sealing with oil first helps to trap the hydration before applying your cream. If you have medium porosity hair, you can experiment with both. Sometimes your hair might prefer one over the other depending on the weather, the products that you are using, or even your wash day routine. And don't be afraid to tweak things. Hair care isn't a rule book, it's a relationship. The more you pay attention to how your hair reacts, the better you'll understand what it loves. Let's talk about some mistakes that you could be making. You could be keeping your hair dry even if you're following these methods. Now, the first mistake is using too much oil. Your hair doesn't need to swim in oil. Too much oil can block moisture from getting in the next time you try to re-moisturize your hair. So actually, when you're using the oil, just dump your finger on oil just a little to make your fingers moisturized and then use that on your hair. Another mistake you could be making is when you skip water or applying leave-in conditioner. Water is the real moisturizer. Everything else just helps to lock it in, to keep that moisture locked in there, so that it doesn't evaporate as quick. Now, using the wrong product altogether is another mistake that you could be making. If your leave-in and cream don't mix well, you might get buildup instead of moisture. So it is advisable that you always test your combination first on just a small section of hair to ensure that the products you are using are well compatible. Maybe you're not protecting your hair at night. You can use the LCO or the LOC all day, but if you sleep without a bonnet or satin pillowcase, say goodbye to that moisture. It will be all gone by the time you're waking up in the morning because your headscarf or your cotton pillow absorbed all the moisture in your hair. If you're guilty of any of these, don't worry, we've all been there. Drop a comment in the comment section down below so that we can all grow together and so that we can share these nuggets. So you need to test what works for you. Here is what I want you to do this week. After your next wash day, split your hair into 2 sections. Do the LOC method on one side and the LCO method on the other side, and then check in after 3 days. Now, after these 3 days, you need to identify which side feels softer and which side looks shinier or less frizzy. That's your answer. Your hair will tell you if you listen. Of course, the side that looks more frizzy will have lost a lot of moisture. So you need to identify which side you used the LOC and which side you used the lock method. So if you're team LCO or team LOC, remember it's about understanding your hair's language. Moisture isn't about products, it's about patience, consistency, and having a good relationship with your hair. If this episode gave you some insight, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this with your natural hair girls. Also, let me know in the comment sections, what team are you on? Are you an LCO or an LOC girl? Until next time, keep your crown moisturized, your ends protected. You've been listening to the Crown Conversations, where we talk hair, habits, and healing. See you on my next upload.